It seems like yesterday since I arrowed a 200-inch typical on a solo hunt in the high country of Utah, but it's been almost a year. Life moves on, and a new summer is here. Snowpack melts and new grass grows. Mule deer migrate to their summer range, and the mountain comes to life. A time of year I look forward to most. Peaceful mornings at 10,000 feet, picking apart the mountain, looking for that one special buck to dedicate my season towards. With this general season unit on a steady decline over the last decade, it makes the task that much more difficult to turn up a mature mule deer with the right genetics. But this is what I live for. Instead of complaining or switching units, I tell myself, just work a little harder. Try one more basin. Nothing in these mountains is handed to you. Perhaps that's why I love coming back. There's no guarantees, no matter how hard you work. But when it all comes together, you know you earned every bit of it. Well, this has been an adventure for old Track and I. 3-hour hike to get up to this spot. Saw a couple bucks on the way in, but didn't get to really glass much. Half of that was in a big rainstorm, so we got soaking wet. I'm using the Cross-Trek system from Peaks Equipment right there to dry out my pants and socks. Boots are soaking wet out there. And I forgot my sleeping pad. So what I'm doing is I laid out the Dyneema Solitude 4 for a little bit of padding, and opened up the backpack there so Tracker's laying on the bag portion of the initial ascent. And so that's what we're gonna sleep on tonight. I could feel all the jagged rocks below me, but we'll make it through. It just might be a long night. We'll wake up right on top of this knob though, ready to glass. It's like a steep, like this 7x7 TP or whatever the TP is, can't even lay out all the way. That's how steep and pointy this is. Forecast says it should be clear, just maybe a little breezy, but there should be some bucks out in the morning, so we'll check back in then.
Got the side tape on, I went with the number 35 and was hitting really good at 60 and 70. Brought it back to 40 now and just getting some rad sort of week out from opening day in Utah.
Pretty dang cool. Can't believe it's already here.
As the hunt draws closer, reps at the range become that much more important, and first light on the mountain has a little bit more pressure to it. Over the last 30 days, I found a lot of good bucks, but only a couple that I would say are in that next level size. I was still looking for my number one. Well, so far it's been an eventful morning. I've seen around 10 bucks. Like 5 just cool looking 4-pointers, and then the big boy. So we are, today is Thursday, which puts us at 2 days before the hunt. The hunt opens on Saturday. There's been a lot of good bucks this summer. A lot of good bucks, like 160 to 180 class bucks. Nice frames, a lot of good 4-pointers. But it has been tough to find that buck that's going to hit or break 200. Heck, even 190 has been really tough this year. That's tough any year, but every year seems to get a little bit harder up here on these mountains. So we've got this buck found. I don't know what he's going to score. I go back and forth. I could see him hitting 190, then I see him hitting like low 180s. He's got great mass, giant eye guards, and that extra eye guard on the front, which gives him a few inches. But a stud buck nonetheless. I found him last year, so this is the second year I've seen this buck. Right now, he's the most killable buck, the most consistent. I've got another big buck found that is not consistent. I've seen him 1 out of 6 times looking for him. So right now, I think this is going to be number 1 buck. It's been a very quick scouting season. It's gone way fast. Scouting season's my favorite time of year. Waking up early, checking new basins, running ridges, hiking, biking, just observing and taking in these beautiful high country views and learning about these bucks. So it's kind of bittersweet. Get to start hunting, but also my favorite time of year, scouting season's coming to a close. I'd say it was pretty successful, all in all. All right, so Friday, day before the opener, and we got the buck spotted again. There's a couple hikers coming down, just hiking down a trail through this basin, and they spooked him up. He might have been bedded or feeding in some trees, and he ran over, took his little path to kind of escape, and now he's just chilling out and walking around feeding. So that's 3 times in a row that he has taken this same path. So that's pretty exciting. I think that could be a great spot to ambush him, maybe come tomorrow. Now that we're getting a closer look, Connor, what do you think? Do you think he's still in the mid 180s?
Yeah, I think he's 180 to 185 for sure. He's a sweet buck. I think regardless of score, he's just a stud buck. I think he's definitely one that we gotta really think about going after for sure.
I definitely think he's, top 2, top 3 that we know of. Most huntable, though, number 1 most huntable. And that's probably the most important thing. I think we got the best odds you can ask for. Now we just need no people, weather to cooperate, and the buck to cooperate. It's a little windy today. Might be a little bit stormy tomorrow as well. Okay, 6 a.m. opening day. Can't believe it's here. That's exciting. It's been a really hot, dry year. We haven't had any moisture or weather for like a month. And then randomly, opening weekend last night into today, it's windy and a little bit stormy. I do have Connor up here, and it's pretty cool. Connor and I have never hunted opening weekend together. We've always had different tags pulling us elsewhere. Usually I just solo hunt it, but this year we're together, so Connor's gonna spot for me, and he's got a tag too, so I could look for deer for him, but we're really gonna try to get this big eye guard buck. So we have about 30 minutes and we'll start glassing this hillside behind me. Alright guys, we found the buck. We've been cat and mousing him. He's kind of going left and right. But now he is headed back the direction of his bedding area. We call it the crag. C-R-A-G, crag. And that's where he always crosses, so we're going to try to cut him off. Essentially getting back where I was 30 minutes ago. Oh, that was tough. Should have stayed with the original game plan of getting in the crag and waiting for him to come. And if I would have done that, there was a doe in there. She would have moved and went left long before he would have ever came over. I thought I might be able to, when he ran from whatever it was this morning, I thought I might be able to catch up to him and get a shot with the wind in my face while they're up and moving, but he took me up into the basin and then out of nowhere he cut and went straight back to the crag. And I was just about, 10 minutes late. He beat me to the spot I needed to be at. And then as I was working up to him, that little button buck or doe was in between him and I. I didn't get good video of it. Connor probably did, but that doe came into 10 yards of me and then kind of spooked uphill another 10 yards, and then he walked out 30 yards away from me, but I could not move because she was staring right at me. As soon as I would go like that, I was fully exposed and I still had to stand all the way up. So sat there, and then he got on alert looking down my way, and finally he moved to 50 and then moved to 70 and stopped. And I tried to shoot one at 70, but I didn't dial my sight because I just didn't have the time, and I shot very low, so I misjudged him. Maybe I could have ranged him, but it was tough. And on that hill, the cant of the bow was crazy. It was just a tough shot. Probably shouldn't have even taken the shot, to be honest. That was a great chance. I just should have stayed in one spot and got a little too excited this morning, thinking I could shoot him when he went up in the basin. But now we just gotta hope that he's not too spooked.
Even though the buck spooked, fortunately, he never put eyes on me and couldn't quite figure out what happened. That afternoon, as I was getting into position, the buck crossed just 40 yards underneath me as he was rebedding for the evening. I called Connor up and told him to look down my way and pick the buck up. He kept eyes on him until he bedded, while I made a loop underneath the buck to get the wind right and make a stalk for the evening.
Deer are about 150 yards uphill, and I'm gonna try to sneak up and get close, and maybe I'll get lucky and get a shot. Connor said the big buck just stood up.
I was able to get within 30 yards of the buck, and I was that close for at least a half an hour. There was just enough hill in front of me, though, that I could not see the buck. He eventually came to 10 yards away, where I had to draw my bow in hopes that he would stay there long enough that I could poke over this bush and get a shot. As soon as he saw movement, he bumped out to 40 yards, though, so I had to take another shot where I had to guess his yardage. A shot that I should be able to make, but in the pressure of the situation, I didn't hold high enough and shot right underneath him. He took an escape route and worked up into the pine trees, and then darkness set in. That was the end of day one.
Well, it's a new day today. We've seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bucks. Haven't seen the big buck or his buddy yet. There's a little bit of a gut where we left him, and he could be right in that. We just can't see him. He's somewhere right here. But maybe between me spooking him a couple times and then the bad wind, he's just holding up a little bit tight today.
After a couple hours of blasting and not finding the buck, Connor looked down into a low pocket and spotted the buck. It looked like he had just stood up out of a bed, walked around, and then re-bedded. I headed down the canyon, met up with Connor, and we got eyes on him to make a game plan. He was tucked up in a little pocket on a very steep face. It was almost 11 o'clock, and the wind was starting to get consistent. He likely was bedded for most of the night into the morning. He finally got up to feed in some shadows, and I headed in for another stalk. Once I was within 200 yards, I could see him almost the entire way. Step by step, I crept my way up the face, being as quiet as possible and only moving when his head was down.
Missed for the I just missed the third time. No excuses this time. I got my shot. Just can't settle down for some reason. I mean, you could see this hillside is about as steep as it gets. Found him in that bed. Watched him for a bit, was getting ready to head out for the day and maybe try to come back on him in the evening. And he got up and fed into this clearing, and I said, what the heck, I'll go for it. Scramble up these ledges right here. Scramble up through these ledges and walk in on him. And I spotted him 150 yards away, and about 85% of it I could just watch him the whole way, and I just kept creeping with him and got to that opening where I couldn't really keep going without being super exposed, and that was about 63 yards away from him. He turned broadside. I pulled back, and I couldn't settle down. Like, I pulled back, did my lean, and still wasn't even close to him. Tried to lean some more, and as soon as I got on him, I punched the trigger, and so 3 shots in 2 days. This buck keeps avoiding me, and he lives to see another day. It's frustrating because I know Connor's taking time out of his hunt, to kind of hunt up here with me. So it'd be nice to get it done so that he can have some time to hunt, but I have time. I'm not worried about that, but it just sucks when you play it perfectly and you can't get them still. That's bow hunting, though. I was thinking, I know why I missed the other 2. I had to guess the distance, and I just didn't hold high enough. But this last shot, it was perfect. I range him, dial, shoot, and I was just struggling to get and stay on the target uphill. I'm kind of thinking putting my camera on my stabilizer, so I got this Insta360 camera in this bar that I've been running on my sidebar, so it's sticking up like this. That's how I'm getting that point of view shot. And I kind of have to do it for the video, but you gotta think that's putting a lot of weight coming out on this side of the bow that I'm having to then torque and push into the bow more to compensate. And if I'm gonna keep running this, tell myself, hey, hold your arm up for a couple seconds after the shot. Because on that shot, I look back at the footage and I immediately drop my arm as soon as I shoot. And I punch the trigger too. So a little bit of everything. Kind of just getting flustered because I could not hold on the animal. It seemed like I wanted to just fall off of him. So, no excuses. I should have made that shot, but I'm just trying to think of what may have caused certain things to happen. So hopefully we get another shot. I'd be shocked if we get a chance tonight. It's pretty hot and calm today. Plus he's pretty spooked. But I think I'll get another chance at the buck for sure. Alright, here we go, day number 3. It's about 6:40 and we've got the buck spotted. Connor spotted him about 250 yards away from me. I post up pretty close so that I can make a move and I can see quickly. It's funny how they blend in though. I was looking right at him with my binos and skipped right over him. But he's back up on the face. He's kind of low. There is 2 does that we know of below him and to the left. I'm going to try to make a move while the wind is in my face and get in the general area, but it's going to be tough to work around these does. He's good at letting the does kind of do his dirty work, or the lesser bucks. He's real good at that. And then he comes sliding in when the coast is clear, so gotta try to work around him and see if we can make it happen. This is a big buck. You don't get many opportunities at a nice buck like this. and we've been fortunate, so now I gotta do my job and get it done this time. Well, this is kind of tough. There's deer everywhere. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 deer around the buck, plus another 10 to 12 that are up canyon coming this way. Great news is I'm below the buck, wind in my face, he's just feeding. Bad news is somehow I have to shave off 200 yards with 20 deer scattered around on a hillside like that. It's nice when he's with other deer because he's more relaxed, I think, but a lot harder to sneak in on him for sure.
As the morning grew, the deer started to branch off into various patches of pine trees to bed down. As I got just 90 yards underneath the buck, he linked up with a small 2-point and worked to my left. I was within 120 yards, but now he was out of sight. Connor came through on the radio and said he was held up in a small rock chute, feeding. If I could just work through the pine trees to my left, another 50 yards, I would be back in bow range. Working my way through the pine trees, I found a few deer beds and a small game trail that led right to where the buck was feeding. He was likely going to take this trail right to these beds. So as soon as I could see the buck's antler tips, I held up and nestled in below him.
Funnel shot. I just got it. Oh my god. That's amazing. I shot through the bushes and missed him. And I don't know where the arrow went, but he didn't know what happened, and he let me draw again at 25 yards. And I just shot. I just made sure to settle. I couldn't even tell. I could just see his face. So I was looking down through the bushes. The camera could see him better. And I went up to his face with my pin this time instead of trying to find it in the trees, and then just came down. Perfect frontal shot. He ran 30 yards and died at my feet. Right there. Big high country buck down. Thank you, big buck. I'm gonna hit Connor on the radio, tell him what happened. I know he saw it go down, but that's amazing. So thankful right now that I love velvet deer. I love these mountains. I love watching them, the pursuit of them. Like, it's my biggest passion.
Dude, he looks big. He's pretty freaking cool. He got kind of screwed up. He rolled right here and died. He's still in pretty good shape.
Holy shit.
All right, Utah 2025. Big high country mule deer right there. Let's see if I can turn him for you. Pretty buck, giant eye guards. Split eye guard on that right side right there. Got to do it with my buddy Connor. If you want to come in, dude.
Got her done.
We got her done. We got her done.
Oh, not quite opening weekend, but Monday
after the opener, so 2.5 days in.
Yeah,
We got it done.
Stud buck.
Sweet buck.
We were on this freaking deer. The only day or the only time we didn't see him was last night.
Yep.
He played hooky with us last night, but turned him back up this morning and made it happen. I think he's bigger than we thought he was.
We'll have to get a tape on him when we get down. It's always just fun for reference to see what deer score, but nonetheless, he's, like I said, top 2 from what I found this summer. Couldn't have done it without Connor helping me out, moral support and spotting and sticking with me. That was tough to, I'm sure, watch me miss a few times, but you hunt long enough in this country, you're gonna have days like that for sure. I could always be better, but it worked out almost perfect, like it was meant to be. Okay, we broke him down a couple hours after, got him in the shade. Meat here, 2 bags of meat, and then the little bag with pack straps. So we're gonna try to hustle him off the mountain. It gets hot these early season hunts, and he's already scraped up, so we want to get his head in a freezer immediately and then the meat on ice immediately. So we cut and cut. Gonna throw him on the initial scent pack. Here I got the panniard load carrier that'll strap to the frame. I'll put all this meat on there, and then the buck's head I'll put on the outside of the pack. But final steps, just get off the mountain safely now, and then it's nothing but a memory, and that quick it's all over. You try it, you want to soak it in and just sit up here and enjoy the moment, but you have to, celebration is short-lived and you got to get to work and finish the job. So now on to that part of last haul.
In order to have success bow hunting, it takes a lot of things coming together. Luck, practice, knowledge, time, skill. Sometimes you can get it done with just 1 or 2 of those things. But the more I hunt, there's one thing that never fails. You might not win the day, but in the long run, a deep passion for whatever it is you're doing will keep you locked in and focused on the goal when times are tough.